At this point, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next speaker, John Thompson. He's also a really great author. He's the author of Building Analytics Teams, which an international technology executive with over 30 years of experience in the business intelligence and advanced analytics fields. Currently, John is responsible for the global advanced analytics and artificial intelligence team and efforts at CSL. Prior to CSL, John was an executive partner at Gartner, where he was management consultant to market-leading companies in the areas of digital transformation, data monetization, and advanced analytics. Before Gartner, John was responsible for the advanced analytics business unit of Dell Software Group. That's awesome, John. I'm a big Dell user. So I'm going to go ahead and invite John Thompson up on stage. Hello, John.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
Are you as dedicated as I am? Wait, what?
I'm dedicated.
We're wearing the same shirt.
Great program, Kate.
Well, John, thank you so much for being here. I know you're going to talk all about managing high-performance teams for maximum efficiency and employee engagement. So I'm going to get out of your way and hop off the virtual stage. It is all yours.
Thanks, Kate. Hello, everybody. So happy to be here, coming to you from snowy Chicago. Yes, we've had snow the last 2 days, so it's winter has arrived in the U.S. Midwest. So I'm inside and warm and happy to be here with some of my most favorite people in the world: Kirk Bourne, Bernard Marr, Christina, who I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm sorry about that. But Christina, it's sequel, not squirrel. That's not even an option. But anyway, I'm going to take the discussion in a little bit of a different direction from data and data literacy. I'm going to talk about advanced analytics teams and managing those advanced analytics teams. As Kate said, I wrote a book 3 years ago. I wrote a book for C-level executives on analytics called Analytics: How to Win with Intelligence. And that was for those executives to understand who to hire, what to invest in, what analytics teams could do. And then in June of this year, I released a book called Building Analytics Teams. And that book was targeted for people who are managing analytics teams and who are building analytics functions in organizations. But what has happened is the community, this wonderful community that we're all part of, has embraced that book and has taken it much further than I ever expected it to go. And I've been reached out, I've been contacted by students from around the world, people who are just starting out their career in data and analytics and AI. And they're trying to understand, what does a high performance advanced analytics team look like? And the reception has been fabulous. The questions that I'm getting from them on LinkedIn and through other media has been wonderful. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, is an advanced analytics team, what it is, how to manage it, how to bring people together, how to structure it, and those kind of topics. So my first premise, or one premise that's probably a little bit different than other people are thinking about, is that, in my view, an advanced analytics team is a creative team. It's much different than a development team. It's much different than many of the other teams that people have been on throughout their careers. Often we look at a development team and we say we're going to implement an ERP system from SAP, an enterprise resource planning system, or we're going to implement a CRM system via the cloud through Salesforce, customer relationship management, or those kind of systems. And they're very straightforward. They do have some variation in how they operate, but most of those are very linear processes. And I don't see advanced analytics as being linear in most of the cases that we work on. So you are getting some data. We've heard a lot about data hygiene, trusting data, engaging with your data, profiling your data, exploratory data analysis. All that is relevant. There's no doubt about it. But we often find that we don't have the right data, or we have the wrong theory, or we use the wrong algorithm, and we have to iterate multiple times to get to a point where we find a solution that is going to actually bring some business value to the team or to the business. So in my opinion, an advanced analytics team is dramatically different than any other team, because at its core, at its base, it's a very creative endeavor. So, that's the first and foremost thing that I always talk about. Let's move on to talking about how to structure an advanced analytics team. In the world, I think of many things as two poles. I think of one end of the pole as being artisanal team and made of artisans. Another team is more of a modular team. I tend to start out and build artisanal teams or artisan-based teams. And that's where you take a data scientist and they have responsibility for everything. They own the building of the charter. They handle the stakeholder management. They obtain the data. They integrate data, feature engineering, modeling, all those different kind of things. They do it all. In a modular team, you may have a set of people who do data acquisition, data integration, feature engineering, modeling, those kind of things. I tend to lean more towards an artisan team where you have a group of people who are highly experienced, highly paid, that work through those projects in that manner. Some people ask, are these teams, is one approach or the other more expensive? Not really, because you'll have fewer people on the artisanal team, but they're highly paid. You'll have more people on modular team, and they're lower paid people. You can also have a team where you have the artisanal team doing modeling and feature engineering, and then you have a modular team doing the data integration and data acquisition. So you can have a hybrid team as well. So that's how I structure and usually have seen high performance teams work very well. And then people often ask me, well, you have these high performance people, how do you keep them busy? What kind of workload do you give them and how do you manage them? So I use what I call as a personal project portfolio, and each of my data scientists have 2 major projects, and those projects could be anywhere from 2 or 3 months to a year in duration. And then they'll have 3 or 4 minor projects. And then, as we all know in our daily jobs, people show up and ask us for quick analytics for the board meeting or data for this or data for that. So they have to field those kind of questions and requests as well. So the way it works is that each data scientist has this personal project portfolio. So as we all know, as data scientists, maybe the data we need, we don't have, or, we've heard from a number of people, Bernard mentioned this, Ben Taylor mentioned it, Kirk Bourne mentioned it, that we as data scientists need to work with subject matter experts in the line of business. Maybe your subject matter expert isn't around. Maybe they're on maternity leave, or they've taken vacation, or you just can't get to them. So you need to give the data scientists the ability to have the accountability and the responsibility to manage their own workload. So they can time slice between these major projects, these small projects, these service requests, so they can have a sense of ownership and agency that what they're doing, they control and they manage on their own. So the personal project portfolio is a great way for you to give your data scientists autonomy and the ability to work on their own and build their own analytics and also fail. We have weekly meetings where all the data scientists come together and talk. Collaboration is a hallmark of a healthy data science team. So all the data scientists on my team are expected to come to the weekly Center of Excellence meeting and share their successes and failures. So sometimes it'll be a problem in data management. Other times it'll be an issue with performance. They're trying to do something in R or Python, or they're having an issue, as Kurt talked about, a data normalization issue. So we all talk about that, and we all put our cards on the table, and everybody has ideas and everybody shares, and we all try to get better together. So I think that works out very well for a high performance analytics team. Now, one of the things that I often get asked about is there's a significant amount of projects that fail when we're trying to go from a data science a development effort where we're building models and building applications into production. So when we are ready to move from development into production, we need to have been talking to the line of business executives whose area and processes are going to change. Their people are going to have to do things different because we're going to put in advanced analytics models. You have to be talking to the IT department because they usually own the systems which you're going to be making changes to. And then you also have to have the data science team involved in that conversation. So when do you start that conversation? You actually start that conversation with the business executives when you started the project. If you've started that conversation about how their area is going to change after you've done all the modeling and work, you're way behind. Because organizational change management is always one of the most difficult parts of the project. So you start that early. And you have this triumvirate. You have the line of business, you have the IT, and you have the advanced analytics group working together and collaborating. So we heard this undercurrent of communication from all the different people that I just mentioned. And what we do in our advanced analytics projects is that we demand that the line of business dedicate a subject matter expert to the project. So if the line of business can't give us someone who's going to work with us on a regular basis, then we don't undertake the project. Because I think it was Bernard that said, we're very good at math and things like that, but we don't really understand the business processes. So I'm going to stop there. I see Kate, so I'm sure I've run over my time, and I'll wrap it up there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. First of all, I think this topic is not, it doesn't get enough airtime, right? We don't talk about this enough. We focus so much on the technical side of things. So I'm really glad to have you here, and a lot of great comments and questions coming in. So many people have already read your book and they're recommending the book, and other people are going and buying the book. People are sharing the link. So I'm glad to see that. We can take one question here from Deb. I thought it was interesting. Can we get a vote on centralized or decentralized analytics functions organizationally? What's your vote?
Absolutely. That's a great question, and if we're going to take one, that's a great one to talk about. I have a center of excellence, which is a centralized function, but throughout CSL we have decentralized groups that have data scientists throughout that. So what I do is I have almost, you can think of a lend-lease program. So people come to me and say, hey, I want to work on this project, and I can do the data part, but I can't do the data science part. I will lend them a data scientist to do that. So my data scientists work centrally, but they go into the decentralized areas and work together. And we also rotate people around. So there may be a group in manufacturing that's doing analytics, and some of those people want to come and work in the central advanced analytics function. So we'll trade people back and forth. So it's both, and they work together.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that, John. And if people want to vote in the comments, centralized versus decentralized, go ahead and feel free to do that. The comments have been really great that were coming in. So John, thank you again for your time today.